welcome to the show. Today with me are my girlfriends again, Preet Sangha and lovely Monica Sharma. Guys, what's going on?
What's going on? A lot is going on. I think, we want to talk about, last time we spoke about relationships, I think that went really well.
Yes.
A lot of comments about that. So we wanted to talk more about what we go through in our daily relationships. So Preet had a really good idea about managing finances.
No, I'm going to give that tip on the end, First you go ahead. I want to ask from you, how do you manage, Monica?
How do I manage? Well, I don't think we are that capable of managing. So we have someone who manages our finances.
Okay, you do.
Actually, we have to outsource. I mean, we have to give it to someone else to do it. But when it comes to finances, the first thought came to my mind was overspending and spending on things that we don't really need. Like, for example, I may want something, but my husband will no, or vice versa, right? So that was, that was my thing. How do we control that? How do you deal with something like that? Or do you even have those kind of problems?
She's a spendthrift, So she doesn't control. She has a manager who controls it.
So, this is what happens when...
She has a manager. She has a personal manager. We don't have a personal manager.
Okay, so there you go. Now the secret is out, right, Preet? I'm just kidding.
So no, we have already spilled the beans, so she knows, So she has a manager. I don't have a manager. So my manager is my husband. What? The moment I go and spend in some store, he gets that kind of notification on the phone. Okay, did you go there? I'm like, no, I have a notification.
Yeah.
So he manages my account.
See, these apps are just not helping us.
These apps are not helping, right? Not for these kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It might help in some other stuff, but managing the finance, no, it doesn't help, especially with the husbands,
I guess, in a way, I think both, like I said, both husband and wife should keep a check on exactly how much each one is spending because it kind of helps to keep on track.
Sure.
And of course, nowadays everybody have their CPA, managing their finances account. But at the same time, a lot of times you eat out and you're not even understanding that even eating out a lot of times can add up to the bill.
Absolutely.
So you try to control your finance, your budget. But ladies, treat yourself to a Gucci bag now and then. Or
there she goes. There she goes. Who's going to manage that finance?
I know exactly, but don't get carried away in the moment. When you go shopping, try to control your emotions and try to see what you really need in your closet and what you don't, right?
So we need to go check her closet
now. Saying so many different
we need to go check her closet,
Monica. Go get Gucci and control your emotions. Just those two things just go together.
Okay. On a serious note, I think one should have a conversation at least once a month, and the couple should have a conversation over the dinner. I'm like, not kids. Kids should not be there. They should have a conversation about the finance, how to manage.
Exactly.
And because you see in the marriage system, most of the wedding thing, most of the bride say is the groom who's supposed to spend. The groom says if you go and do the survey, it's 14% of bride side who actually spend the money on the wedding. And just 1% is the groom one.
Oh, really?
So yeah, just 1%. I was just going ahead and I'm just checking out, what is the percent, what is the ratio. So 14% the bride and 1%.
14%.
14%,
Wow.
1/4, and 1% is the groom side. Why? I don't understand. So mostly I'm just going and checking out, something. So is ladies happy with this scenario? So the ladies say no. When we are separated or we are divorced, we are much better financially. Is
okay, but that doesn't mean that one should
No, I'm just saying if people are on the verge of separating, this says when we separated, we are much better financially. So I'm just saying, do you agree with that?
Maybe that is a statistic you read and
right.
But to be honest, we don't encourage that.
We don't.
You as a couple and controlling each other in over zealous spending.
Absolutely.
And it's always better to keep, I say, a record and a track sheet. Because I like to write everything down. I do. So it's not a bad idea to get, maybe a calendar or like a planner in which every month, or you can go on Google Drive or make a spreadsheet, and every month or every week you see how much you're spending. So by the end of the month, you can see, okay, exactly my credit card bill was. Although the credit card, you can also log into your credit card account summaries, but when you're writing it with your own and you're typing it with your own, you keep a visual knowledge of exactly what's going on. Don't you agree, Monica?
Absolutely. Yeah. Another way of doing this is that I used to do once upon a time when I was
once upon a time.
When I was responsible for my own expenses. That
isn't this great to be married now, guys?
Everything is handed over to the husband now.
Yeah, I know. Now, expenses are still there, but you're just not worried about it.
So that's what I'm saying. When you were not married, weren't you happy?
Was I happy?
Financially, were you happy?
No,
I don't know.
no,
I
fine, that's what I'm
think
saying.
Preet had a lovely day with her husband today. So that's, but
Yes.
we do not encourage that.
We don't encourage that, but I'm just saying that it's just a ratio. It's just a conversation we just
Sure.
came up
So
with. Yeah.
see, wedding is totally different because all cultures, like our culture, there's like
Yes,
a
a lot of
girl's
spending goes,
side
yeah.
does different things and boys' side, and then there are different weddings, different cultures are probably different ways of handling this. So that's different. But what I'm saying, after being married, like I said, first thing you can do is as soon as your paycheck's coming in, whether it's the 1st or the 15th or the both,
Exactly.
take part of that into savings without knowing. Don't look at that money. Like make sure that's an automatic transfer. Every time money comes in, the part of your savings already going, and then you know what you've got to work with for that month.
That's what I do,
And
Monica.
That way, that money is saved.
That money is
and
saved,
that money is untouched, and and you keep it together, right?
That's what
Preet?
my
What you're
kids
doing?
say. They say, you go through work, mom. Where's the money? I said, like, it goes to the bank. Direct deposit.
Very
So they keep asking, where's the money?
So
Where's the
the
money?
kids
Why do
are
you take? Why do you take money from the dad?
The kids
I'm
are
like, my
asking
money's in the
lovely
bank.
Preet, where is the money?
No,
So
you
money
My
is
money is
going
gone.
to the bank.
Bank
Kids,
deposit.
try to understand. We are as parents trying to put things together so you can go to a nice college, right?
Absolutely. But you have to you don't say your money goes to the bank. You say dad's money is my money.
Yeah, obviously. That's what I say.
There you go.
There
You
goes.
can't
Dad's
sum
money.
it up.
Dad's
You
money.
know, you
Women
can't say
empowerment.
my
There
money's
you
in the
go.
bank and I'm taking it from dad.
Dad's
Dad's money is your money.
Okay, perfect. So guys, this is for this week. Signing off, Amber, Preet, and Monica. We'll see you again. Bye.
Ciao.
Hi viewers, welcome to Health and Wellness, yet another season, another episode with an honorable guest. Today we have Dr. Stephen Model with us, who is my favorite cardiologist with the Baylor Healthcare System. Tell us something about yourself, Steve.
First of all, thanks again for having me.
Thank you for
it's a pleasure
coming.
to be here. So I'm a cardiologist with the Baylor Healthcare System. I've been in the area for 7 years. I consider myself a preventative cardiologist. So my approach towards heart disease is let's identify it early before someone has an event, and what are the things we can do with that. I also have interest in advanced cardiac imaging. I'm a big advocate of CT scanning, which is a growing technology and a great tool to identify heart disease early before someone has a heart attack.
Yes, so we were talking about it and we said, okay, let us talk about heart disease and high cholesterol and how we can treat it and prevent it and give some valuable information to all our viewers. So what are the new trends in cardiology?
So I think the latest trend is inflammation. And we've been very fixated again on cholesterol as the major risk factor for heart disease. But it's actually inflammation that we're discovering. For example, people with rheumatoid arthritis are at the highest risk of heart disease, more so than diabetes or smoking. And there's a lot of great things we can do with supplements. I'm a big advocate of doing anything you can to lower inflammation risks.
You are right. You're on spot.
So with supplements, I think it's important to identify what, again, you're addressing. There's a lot of supplements that are available in today's marketplace. And again, I think it's important to consult with your physician, not your friend or neighbor, or a nutritionist, or someone that specializes in supplements to really understand what you're achieving and what your goals are. A lot of great supplements that lower inflammation are ones like turmeric, ginger root, garlic are great. Some people benefit from CoQ10 as a supplement. The omega-3 products are also excellent at lowering heart disease risk and really lowering those inflammation levels.
When we say inflammation, can you just give us a brief information about what is inflammation? It's a big question.
It is. And so there's two real aspects. One is the body's always producing inflammation. Some people have certain genetic diseases that lead to high inflammation levels, but it's our immune system really on the defense to attack foreign objects. And unfortunately, our immune system can attack ourselves. The second variable is inflammation we induce, such as arthritis from aggressive exercising or obesity, or food inflammation from a bad diet. Fast foods, trans fats, high red meat, pork diets cause a lot of inflammation in the body. So again, the big variables we look at are genetics, arthritis, and food as the big risk for inflammation in the body.
And the inflammation and the cholesterol, if it is not under the certain limit, if it is high, then of course it's a bad combination to have heart disease. So we have already talked about the supplements. What are the other ways to lower the inflammation and how to tackle it?
So the big goal for me is to minimize the ingredients. So it's understanding what we can do with inflammation, low inflammation diet. Yoga is great to stretch every day to minimize joint inflammation. And then also looking at addressing cholesterol. And there's two big goals that I look at. One, unfortunately, are prescriptions. And I think there's a lot of anxiety, and I think media gives statins a bad rap.
Yes.
Statins do have side effects, but everything has a side effect. A can of Coke, a Snickers bar have side effects. And people need to understand that. I like statins a lot because they're very potent anti-inflammatory drugs, and they also address cholesterol. So you minimize two ingredients. Unfortunately, not all people can take them. And there's a great new drug, which is a new era of antibody-based treatment called PCSK9 inhibitors, where patients can inject themselves, and the antibodies now attack cholesterol and remove it from the body. So that's a very exciting future for cholesterol. Things patients can do outside of prescription drugs, again, is diet. Really avoid products with vegetable oil. It's really high in omega-3, very pro-inflammatory, raises your triglycerides, lowers your HDL, raises your LDL. So look at products. I love olive oil. If it's not olive oil, really contemplate the value of that. In terms of supplements, I like bergamot orange. And it's an orange isolated from Europe. What's interesting is it works well for about 40 to 50% of patients. 20% of patients have some response and 20% don't have a response. And I'm not sure if there are certain sensitivities that predispose patients to the drug, or it's the supplier, which you don't always know where you're getting or where it's coming from.
So in other words, if patients have high cholesterol and if the doctor thinks it is safe for them to take cholesterol, they should not be scared of taking statins, because it is going to be kind of, in other words, preventing the heart disease, or if they have heart disease, to preventing any further heart disease. And bergamot orange is another great supplement. And they have some new
PCSK9 inhibitors, which are really the future of cholesterol therapy.
Of the cholesterol therapy.
Unfortunately, too expensive right now.
It is too expensive, but it has minimal side effects. That is a great. So what else you want to share with our viewers about preventing the heart disease and new trends in cardiology? They should not be scared of going to see their cardiologist and should be very comfortable in order to share their heart with their cardiologist to take good care of it.
So I think being very proactive at the individual level, and I think that's the biggest thing. Again, 6 out of 10 people which we identify with calcium scoring have heart disease. So calcium scoring, again, is a great tool as an early screening. I'm also a big fan of the new wearable technologies, the Apple Watch, the Fitbits, and it's a great way for us to detect heart rate trends. It's a great way for me to monitor if patients are exercising. And if they're only doing 6,000 steps a day, I know they're not engaging in enough aerobic activity, whereas someone who's gauging 14,000 steps a day, it's a great way of gauging it. And not everyone has to spend a lot of money on the Apple Watch, but if you are at risk for arrhythmias, if you're an older patient, 1 in 5 people over the age of 65 will get atrial fibrillation. And we do see that now that's being detected on these watches. There is a couple case reports within the first year of the new Apple Watch of them detecting heart attacks which are now guiding patients when to seek medical attention and when not. Because I think that's the challenge patients struggle with is when do I see a doctor? When do I stay at home?
Yes.
Or it's Saturday, it's gorgeous out, I'm having chest pain, I don't want to go.
Okay.
So I think wearable technology is another new trend that we'll see in the future.
Wonderful. So a lot of good information. And viewers, if you're having any chest pain, if you're having any difficulty breathing, you're short of breath, you're having difficulty exercising, then please consult your doctor as soon as possible. And if your doctor wants you to see the cardiologist, then do make appointment. Do not miss your appointments. If you're having chest pain or any warning signs, please go to the emergency room. Do not even wait to see your doctor or call the doctor. Thank you so much, Dr. Mottle, for giving us such a valuable information about heart disease and cholesterol and how to prevent it. And we will be back, viewers, next week with another important topic, valuable information, and an honorable guest. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So everyone, this is Fahad and my segment is Fahad only on Amber Dazzle Show. Today we have our guest who are my friend, and they are living in Dallas for I think 2 years or 3 years now. And please welcome my friend Irfan and Sumi. How are you?
So thank you very much for having us, Fahad. It's a pleasure, it's always nice to be in your company.
Thank you very much.
Same here.
Thank you. Irfan, tell me, how do you start all this and from Pakistan and tell me about it.
Yeah, bright-eyed kid at the age of 18, right? And, so it was literally that bright-eyed kid at the age of 18. I had not turned 19 yet.
Uh-huh.
And I remember when I came, my father, he said, "Beta, here's your 1 semester tuition and here's a little bit of pocket money and good luck to you. I'll figure this out." I have 3 other children. And the journey has been, alhamdulillah, very fruitful. Today, we're sitting here enjoying the fruits of that labor.
So Sumbul, you are a doctor by profession?
I am, thank you. I'm a gastroenterologist. Practice here in Dallas. I trained in Cleveland, Case Western Reserve University. Then I did a fellowship in geriatrics first. I was part of the medical school. I was teaching faculty, assistant professor, was actually going for my associate professorship, and then went back to do my second fellowship.
Tell me the definition of a good doctor. The thing is, there are so many doctors, we know so many doctors, and the thing is, sometimes I saw your post on Facebook. You're very connected with your patients. You are sad when something goes wrong with your patient.
Yeah, let me answer that. Okay. It is a definition of a good doctor is what I see in her. Okay. I don't come from a family of physicians, but she will wake up, even though she's not on call, and she does a lot of outpatient. She's not doing inpatient. Biopsy came. She'll wait for the patient to come back from job at 11 o'clock at night and be with their family before she's calling them to make sure, hey, I have some bad news for you. And I want to make sure that you are with your family, you're surrounded by people who can comfort you while I am giving you some bad news. Or if at times I've noticed that, when something they were dreading, it did not come to pass. It was a good news, right? The biopsy was negative. She's anxious to just get that news. It doesn't matter if it's a weekend or if it's that connection.
And if it's a good news,
right.
Immediately call them.
Right. It's not. Too often this becomes a job. And I think that's what I referred to when I was talking about the kids going into medicine. A lot of us got back home got pushed into doing engineering or becoming a physician for monetary reasons. It was not a calling. And
Most of the people are like, do this thing, do go into medicine because of the money.
Money, exactly. And I think, and yes, money is important. You have to make money in life. It doesn't give you happiness. It just buys the things that give you happiness. But
you can help.
Right, absolutely. But the important thing, I think, for a physician is to be able to connect with their patients, care about them, truly care about
own them.
Right, own them.
I think, like I think Irfan said, you have to have a passion, you have to care about your patients, and you have to
have a heart.
And you've got to really, really say, I own this patient. I am responsible for another human life, because just like I would want my family to be treated if my father, mother walked into the hospital, I would want them to be treated this way as well. My grandfather was a physician. My father's an anesthesiologist. He was a faculty at Alpine University Hospital for a long time. And he gave me one piece of advice when I got into medical school. He said, so you're in med school, you're going to graduate, you're going to become a doctor. There's no question about that. It's going to be up to you to become a doctor or a good doctor. And there's a big difference. So I strive, I hope, but it's not something that you just happen to be, because you just continue to evolve and hopefully just continue to do better for your patients, and that's where your goal is. And there's still, at the end of the day, you keep thinking when something happens to a patient, could you have done more? Was there something else I could have done? Would it have changed the outcome for this patient? Because that frustration comes with that as well. But I'm very blessed. I absolutely love what I do, and with all the pains that come with it, I wouldn't do anything else.
Thank you very much for your time. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you for
coming on my show.
Much.
This is my segment, Connect with Fahad, only on Amber Dazzle Show. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everyone, this is Shali. I'm very excited to be back on the set of Amber Dazzle. I'm here with Kismet Creations, and I have the gorgeous model here today.
Hi everyone, I'm Allison Drake.
And today what we're going to be showing is out of the Amber Dazzle, the fashion runway, a beautiful palette. We're going to be showing a more going out type look. So Allison, what do you think about that look? Is that kind of
for me, like going out, I still like to be pretty neutral, so some browns, but I just like to kind of smoke it out. And for me, my eyes are green, so I always like just like a hint of gold or copper, just to give it a little pop.
Okay, awesome. So what we're going to show today is a more going out look, and how I'm going to show the key of like blending and kind of building the colors. So the way I like to start off is start off with a light base. So we'll start with Milan, and what we'll do is kind of use that as a base on the entire eye, where we just kind of pat that on lightly all over. And then we use the next transition color, which I like to use is the French Riviera, which is a very nice, like rusty color. And I'm just gonna kind of pat that in. And what this does is it kind of creates a depth into the eyes. And the key here to good eyeshadow is you have to keep blending and just patting on product lightly. And this palette, the great thing about it is it's very pigmented. So next, I'm gonna go ahead and go in with the color Bali, which is a very nice plum color. And I'm gonna just put that right on the lids. In this color, you don't wanna go too high up, so just kind of pat that on the lids. Take a little bit more. Just keep patting it. And then I'm gonna actually go in and smoke out the look. So the best thing about having all these colors is you can really play with these colors and just kind of mix the two. So I'm gonna go in with the two darker shades on the ends and kind of mix the two colors and then create an L shape on the edge and just go a little bit up to the crease. So next we're gonna just add depth to the inner corner. So I'm gonna use two of the darker shades on the bottom and just kind of blend those two colors and just start creating the outer corners and just up to the brow bone. And the key here is just to keep blending. So you want to keep blending this out. And I like to use an angled brush on the outer corners. Okay, so next what I'm gonna go in is with a highlighter brush. I'm gonna pick up Chicago, which is a shimmery color, and I'm gonna use that just right below the brows. And what that does is it creates a very nice subtle glow. And we just kind of brush that in. And just add a little bit more in. Okay, and then I'll go back and use the buffer brush and go in with Bali again and just kind of add a little bit more color to the base. And then just to brighten up this look, I do like to go in with the bright pink color right here and just tap that on as well and just kind of blend it all out. And I'm gonna go ahead and have Ali take a look. What do you think about this look?
Oh my gosh, it's so fun. I love it with my green eyes. I think the purple just really is a good combo with green eyes too.
Mm-hmm. So do you think this is something that you would like to wear out on like
Definitely.
a night out?
Like a girls' night or just going out, I would love to wear this eye.
I really hope you guys enjoyed this going out look, and please don't forget to follow me on Instagram. It's Kismet Creations by Shally, and look at more of my looks on there.
And you can also follow me on my Instagram, which is Ali, ALLIE J Drake, to see more looks.
And guys, don't forget to subscribe to on YouTube at Amber Dazzle, and we'll be back on set next time. Thank you so much.
The preceding was paid program paid by Amber Dazzle. Promotional consideration is paid by following advertisers.